This is a Car Con Carne Extra, an episode recorded outside the car. Car Con Carne is presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, 1015 Chicago Avenue. If I had recorded this week's episode inside a car, it would be inside a Mazda, provided by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Alstyne.
The Cirque du Soleil VOLTA Big Top has been sitting on the lakefront since mid-May, and it's been a sharp contrast to Soldier Field, right to its north, the giant football stadium. VOLTA it's over the top. It's an over-the-top show of graceful athleticism, high-concept storytelling, fourth wall shattering, and it's just driven along by this genre-bending score. I was focused on the music when I went to visit at the end of June. It was June 26th. I saw the show from the highly unorthodox vantage point of the band pit. I was just perched in a corner behind the guitarist and backup band leader Will Lawrence. Now, to my immediate right behind a door, was the drum room, where the band leader and drummer, Ben Todd, kept the proverbial trains running on time. He was balancing the performance aspect of the gig with providing in-the-moment direction to the band as the performance was shifting and changing and twisting in some kind of unexpected ways. Before I had a true sense of what the VOLTA experience was all about, it had been a while since I'd been to a Cirque performance. I sat down with Ben about an hour before showtime. You've done over 1,500 shows?
Something like that, yeah.
That, to any other job, if you were working a cubicle job at Bank of America, 1,500 days of doing the same thing would be kind of drudgery. How does this stay interesting for you? What makes this exciting to do it over and over again?
I mean, being a musician and having a full-time job as a musician is a pretty rare thing. So if nothing else, I'm just grateful every day I get to come to work, in quotation marks, and play drums. I mean, anything above that is really a bonus. On a musical level, I suppose many people think shows like this, performances like this, which is based on the same music, can get tiring after, a few months of doing it. But the unique thing about the Cirque environment is that the show is changing every day because musically we have to react to what's happening on stage.
And that's unusual.
Yeah, it is. It is unusual. And it's even unlike a musical theatre show or a gig for a musician where it is really the same show every day and you just read the music down and that's it. But here, if a performer misses a trick and they want to go again, we have to repeat the sections or skip ahead, or an act might be out, replaced for something else, and that happens on a day-to-day basis. So really it's never the same show night after night. There are enough subtle differences that really keep it interesting.
So you, as a performer, as a band leader, need to be completely locked into what's going on.
Sure. Yes, that's correct.
So being embedded here in a city for a long time with the same musicians, to me I kind of think of it as being in a foxhole in a war. Like you become really close. And
absolutely, yeah.
Is it at the point where it's family that you're playing with?
I think it kind of it is an incredible relationship that you develop with the people, not even just the people who you are playing with, but all of the performers. We do really spend more time with each other here than we do with our actual families back home. So, the relationship and trust and communication that gets developed over the long hours that we spend together is very special and unique.
But tell me about some of the relationships you have with the band members.
The guitarist and the violin player. We all started on the show day one, like creation of the show. So we really have a strong connection.
When was that? 5 years ago?
For this show, it was 2 years ago.
Okay.
So we met each other.
You've been with Cirque for 5.
I've been with Cirque close to 10 now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I did 2 other shows before this one, but it's the first time doing a creation, so from the beginning. But yeah, Will, the guitarist, and Camilla, the violinist and singer, we started all together. So we've seen the show grow from really nothing, and all throughout all of the changes and acts, in and out, and music in and out. We've really seen it grow, and we have a very deep connection with the show. But we're also very fortunate that the two musicians who are newer to the show have embraced that as well, and really we have a great connection with them, and they've really just slotted in amazingly. So that's a rare thing to happen, but we're a very tight band, and being only the 5 of us as well, it's a great group of people to come and play music with every day.
Being in this environment, day in, day out, night out.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ever tempted to try some of this stuff, like do some kind of crazy contortion acrobatic?
I think when I started with Cirque, I was more tempted. Now I'm a little bit more wary, I suppose, of any potential injuries that could prevent me from doing my actual job. But I appreciate and respect the guys, acrobats, so much. I mean, they just train so hard continuously, and it's a very inspiring environment in that sense, because everyone is always working on their craft or working on something totally different to their craft, but we all kind of have this same mindset of just wanting to get better at what we do, and being surrounded by people that are doing that every day is a real driving force.
One of my first impressions coming here tonight, it's like a city has been dropped inside Chicago. This tinted city.
Yeah.
That is the Cirque experience, all the infrastructure that supports this performance.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of living in this city, but as you are embedded in Chicago right now, have you had the chance to get out? I mean, I've got to ask, as a Chicagoan, have you had a chance to explore?
Yeah. We have one day off a week. Mondays is our day off. So, as a musician, I usually want to go and see some music, but unfortunately, there's Mondays are limited. But
a little tough.
Yeah, being in Chicago, I have been really surprised at the amount of things that you can go and see. So. Yeah, I've been to Andy's. I went to Green Mill, Buddy Guys. Lots of places.
All right, let's go back to music. Being in this experience, how has the VOLTA experience, the Cirque experience, informed your own musicianship? How have you grown artistically?
Oh.
Hey, do you have ideas that you've taken from here that you want to explore down the road?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah. For a musician, this is an incredibly unique environment to perform in. First of all, it's almost the skills you develop playing your instrument they're really just not, I wouldn't say taken for granted, but it's just like you just have that, and then there's all of this stuff on top of that really makes the performance and the environment very special. Working with the Ableton technology that the music of the show is based upon. That's a whole world that I never really knew anything about before coming here. And then just styles and genres that I never really played before coming here.
For instance?
For instance, like the electro pop thing that Anthony Gonzalez, the composer, that's his sound. And I'd listened to a little bit before, but really hadn't dived into it. But working with him through the creation of the show, and he was saying, "Oh, you should check out this band, check out this artist." It was amazing. It was really a whole other world of music that I didn't know about. So yeah, just being exposed to new artists and styles is an incredible thing. So definitely a lot to take from here and kind of digest once the craziness of the show schedule calms down.
Do you remember what you felt or what your reaction was when you first heard the score?
When I first heard the original demos for the show, I thought this is something so different and refreshing from, I suppose, the generic Cirque sound that some people often try and stereotype other shows in. It was new and modern and like a current sound, tunes you would hear on commercial radio, really. Whereas I don't think there's been another Cirque show that's really had that edge. So Yeah, I was blown away and truly just so excited to get into it, but also a little anxious because there wasn't a lot of the traditional like drum kit sound. It was a lot of electronic drums and programmed beats and things like that, and I knew that Anthony wanted a real drummer, otherwise they wouldn't have hired me, but I was kind of thinking, how am I going to make this work, and how am I going to put my own stamp on this music without totally just playing drums over the top of electro music. So that was a huge challenge, but rewarding, extremely rewarding to have found that balance, almost 2 years on, I suppose.
So I know you got a show to do. We're sitting here as everything's getting set up. I love this space. VOLTA pulls up the tent pegs in a couple weeks from Chicago.
Yeah.
But it continues on.
Yes.
For someone listening right now, why should they come?
If you want to experience a show that really is, it's the perfect combination of theater and high energy acrobatics and incredibly moving music, VOLTA is that. It's this combination of so many different elements that you really won't get to experience in any other show, I think. And just as you said, the unique environment of being in a big top is something really special, as opposed to a theater. It does feel like you enter a different world when you come in the doors, because everything outside, we're sitting in a parking lot right now, but you would never know. It really takes you to a different place. And I think when people come and see the show, that's really what they want, is to be transformed and taken somewhere else and really dive into a world that they haven't experienced before. So yeah, I would just say if you want an experience no other than this is the show for you.